Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is May 3rd, 2021, and this is episode 281. BRZRKR. This is issue number 2 coming out from Boom. As you recall, we have done issue 1. This was a recommend, and this continues to be a recommend. Actually, this issue is even better than the first, in my opinion. And it will be getting the Indie Comics Good Excavating Seal of Approval, because this is one that we dug up that we really like. Let's take a look to see who... Well, let's take a look at the cover. Now, this isn't depicted in the story, but it is kind of a depiction of who BRZRKR actually is. He has lived through many years, many ages, and he's used probably every weapon available to him. Of course, working on this book is Keanu Reeves, writing it with Matt Kindt. I'm assuming that Keanu Reeves came up with the concept and maybe fleshed it out with Matt Kindt. The artist is Ron Gurney. The colorist was Bill Crabtree, and the lettering is Clem Roberts. So, we'll go into this a little bit more in just a while after I get through the story synopsis real quick. What this Boom Studios is really taking advantage of this comic, and we'll show you what I mean at the end here, because it is a big seller, and they're giving you a lot for the money. It is only a $3.99 comic, but we'll go through this completely. Every page. Okay, what we get here is BRZRKR looking back on his life, even life before he was born. And they've traced his roots something to like 80,000 years old. So he is working with a scientist in some kind of secret U.S. lab. If you recall in the first issue, he was sent on a mission with a bunch of other commandos to basically, it seems, to assassinate some kind of leader in another Latin American country. They really didn't go into it too much with the details of it, but you can kind of assume that what happened. And in the meantime, he got shot up and cut up, but he was just plowing through everybody. He basically can regenerate himself, so he's kind of immortal, obviously. And I'm assuming he's kind of stuck at this 40 to 50-year-old range here. So it goes way back to before he was born. He talks about his tribe. They were nomads. They found a place to settle. However, they were always being attacked by the local tribes as soon as their crops were ready. And all their crops and food was taken. So they would try again, with the same results. So this couple here, they really don't mention the names, but they talk about the need for a woman and a need for a weapon. And the woman says, I've always prayed to the gods, maybe they'll give us something if I do this ritual. She does this ritual in this cave. Her husband stands by, and suddenly there's a reaction to the formula that she has come up with, and we get this kind of spiritual being. You can't really see it, but look, it appears to be making love to the mother. But she has this experience, but she feels like nothing happened. It was a waste. And so she goes to sleep, and pretty much the next day, she realizes she's pregnant. She's got a belly and everything, and she gives birth. The baby only was in the womb for, I believe they said, 2 moons, which would be 2 months. So it grew very quickly. They find out that it's immortal. It doesn't seem to be harmed by anything, but it's also got a lust for killing. And unfortunately, it first takes it out against some of the other kids in his tribe. So they've got to focus his energies, since he is the weapon. He is the one sent by the gods. And so there's a number of trials and tribulations that go on while he gets bigger and stronger. They don't let him unleash against the warring tribes yet. They're going to keep going until he gets even stronger. And the scientist here seems to be trying to isolate what makes him immortal. And they're trying to package that, I believe, to make their own kind of weapon. I believe that's the kind of the subplot going on here. So he talks about how he kept growing and finally he was strong enough and big enough, even though he looks like just maybe a young teenager at this point, to attack the warring tribes, and he just obliterates them. You can see his own tribe behind him, to back him up as well. But he does get pretty much obliterated, but he's also wounded quite a bit. He's just got arrows in him and everything. And he just says at the end here, that was the last time he was happy. So it is to be continued at this point. It is a recommend. This was just a real page turner, just the explanation. It is a little bit cliche in some ways, but it's unique enough in others that I believe that you'll still, anybody that really likes this kind of action comic will still enjoy it. It's very bloody. There's a lot of death in it, obviously. But now we're going to take a look at what else is going with Boom, and they really packed this comic. I mean, it's a pretty thick comic here. So we get an ad for the 7 Secrets. If you're into that, it's written by Tom Taylor, who wrote Deceased, which we reviewed on here. It's a pretty good run, actually, for DC Comics. And then we get this Basilisk special preview. Now, I haven't seen the story yet. I'm assuming maybe it comes out next month. It's written by Cullen Bunn, and drawn by Jonas Scarf. But it just seems to be some kind of strange creatures that show up and come into this village and start attacking the people, even though the people are just saying, "You guys okay? You look like something's wrong." And then we get this clip to what appears to be some kind of assassin woman. Not sure what's going on, but it kind of ends there. They just kind of show you the artwork, and it looks like it might be kind of interesting. Actually, it's on sale June 2021, issue 1. So that is up and coming. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, Once in Future is another comic that they're advertising here. Kieran Gillen. It's in stores now. Heartbeat, Maria Lovett. I'm not quite sure what that is about, but looks like a teen, supernatural perhaps, story. Wind, which I believe this is a trade. You can't find yourself at home until you find yourself. That's James Tynion IV writing that. The Red Mother, I believe this is also a trade. Jeremy Hahn, the writer on that. Something is Killing the Children, James Tynion IV again, and I believe this is also a trade. Looks like volume 2 on sale now. So that's been out for a while. I don't know if it's concluded. And there you go. So this is definitely getting the Indiana Jones. Good excavating. I'll put it right here. Patch up his arm a little. Good excavating seal of approval. As always, thank you for stopping by. And I'll have more comics this week. I was on vacation, so I skipped a few days here, but I've got a lot of comics to catch up in on Wednesday, New Comic Day already. So I think I got 6 more comics to review and 2 previews to do. There's no way I'm going to finish it before next New Comic Book Day. But I appreciate you stopping in. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.